Do you have any questions for us? Now, this question usually hits job seekers like a ton of bricks, and most of them will simply say no. And that's the worst response you can give because it signals to the employer that you're not very interested in this position. And anyone who's seriously considering making a job commitment to an employer will certainly have many questions. If they don't, they're not as serious about the job, or they're just desperate and willing to take anything. You should have a good handful of questions already planned out before your interview. You want to ask them questions that will help you qualify them as a place you want to work. You may not realize this, but you are interviewing them too. And you have the right to tell them no thanks, just as much as they do. So do this when you're answering this question. Ask meaningful questions that will help you qualify them as an employer for you. Your question should reflect what you can do for the company. Ask them questions about the position and their goals for the position, as this will be a sound demonstration of your sincere interest. Highlight some of the things that you discovered about the company after your research. Ask the hiring manager if they feel, if you'd be a good fit for this position. Now, don't do any of this. Never say no. Don't ask random questions for the sake of asking questions. Don't ask questions that are unrelated to the position. Don't ask about benefits unless you're wrapping it up and you're on the topic of discussing salary and benefits. My advice for you: create a list of questions before the interview that will help you qualify this employer as a place you want to work at. Ask questions that will help you decide if you want to work there or not. As you're going through your interview, weave in your questions throughout the conversation and get them answered, because you don't want to wait until the end and then ask all your questions at once, because you'll likely be out of time. My advice for you: create a list of questions before the interview that will help you qualify this employer as a place you want to work at. Ask them questions that will help you decide if you want to work there or not. As you're going through the interview, weave in your questions throughout the interview. Ask them questions while the interview is going on and get them answered, because you don't want to wait until the end to ask all of your questions, as you'll likely be out of time. As you ask questions throughout the interview, your interview will be more like a conversation, and you'll be viewed as a stronger and more genuine candidate, one who's truly interested in this job and is doing his or her due diligence. Let's look at sample answers for, do you have any questions for us? What would you say is the most important quality an employee of this company should possess? Now, that's probably one of the best questions you can ask an employer while you're at the interview, but you only want to ask questions that are important to you and will help you make a hiring decision as to whether you want to work there or not. I have a couple other sample questions you might want to ask, and you can get those for free from my website at jobinterviewtools.com/top10. That's all I have for you today. Good luck on your next interview, and we'll see you next time.